I don't believe in allowing a man or really anybody to kind of hold you down or limit you before they've committed to you in some kind of, you know, fundamental way.
I may be young, but I'm ready to give you all my love.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's michelleamoree, and if you are new here, hi, hello, welcome to my channel. So in today's video, I'm going to be sharing with you guys all the tips and advice that I have for maintaining a healthy relationship through strenuous and really challenging academic programs. For those of you who might not know, I'm currently a law student and I'm in my first year of law school. I'm actually about to finish it in a couple of weeks, and you know, anyone who will tell you first year law school is literally the worst and the most challenging. And so I think from the experience that I've had with my fiance throughout this period, that I do have some insight on tips that we've used to maintain the strength of our relationship that I am so happy to be able to share with you guys today. But before we get into that, I was kindly sent a perfume from Dossier, and I want to go ahead and share it with you guys. I love Dossier. I love that it's affordable. I love that the scents smell amazing. So I'm super excited to try a new perfume out from them. Now, if you don't know, Dossier is a brand that reproduces those high-end luxury scents, but at a fraction of the cost. They also have a risk-free system that allows you to try out their perfumes, and if you don't like them, you can go ahead and return them for a full refund, no questions asked. Now, opening up my Dossier perfume, the one I'm trying out today is called Fruity Jasmine. And this one is inspired by Dior's J'adore Eau de Parfum. Hopefully I said that somewhat correct. And this is how their perfumes come. A very minimalist but sleek and still cute bottle. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try this out and see. I love this one. This one has a very elegant scent to it. I haven't tried out the original yet, but this smells fruity as the name suggests, but it's not an overbearing fruity. It kind of gives me more like mature, grown type of vibe. So I really love that about this perfume. You do have that mixture of like your more sweet scents as well as your more earthy scents as well, which I think gives a very still feminine and cute scent, but not in an overwhelmingly kind of childish associated way. Now, like previously mentioned, Dossier's perfumes are very affordable at $29. Compare that to your $100 plus markups for the authentic scents. And what's more amazing, if you buy 3 or more, you can get up to 25% off from your bulk order. Also, I will go ahead and leave my coupon code for you guys to go ahead and get some money off of your purchase from Dossier. Now, diving right into this video, prior to starting law school, I was seeing a lot of negativity regarding relationships, like on Reddit, social media in general, of how like just because of how, you know, difficult and challenging law school can be, it poses a lot of challenges on people's relationships. Like, some people enter into law school and they're married and end up getting divorced, they're in long-term relationships, end up separating, whatever the case may be. I personally didn't really allow that to kind of like scare me or shake me, because for me, I feel like I don't think law school is necessarily the issue, because the truth of the matter is like after law school or after your graduate program, you have your career to worry about. So it's like, if you can't get through like law school, what are you gonna do in your actual career when you're, you know, probably working some crazy hours? So I didn't allow like the negativity surrounding like relationships to really make me feel like I should be really scared. But if anything, I allowed it to make me extra cautious to ensure that I'm implementing positive and healthy habits to maintain the strength of my relationship. And I can honestly say that law school has done nothing but strengthen my relationship with my fiance. Like, I feel like when you go through something so challenging and you're able to lean on your person for support and they really show up for you the way they need to, it does nothing but bring you guys closer together. And I'm really grateful that we've had this opportunity. happy. Now, I do want to give a disclaimer. I'm proud and I'm very content and happy with the way my relationship is set up. We are more traditional, meaning I like to take care of like the home, cook, and I knew that even just because I'm starting law school that I wasn't going to go ahead and stop doing the things I enjoy doing just because of school. For me, it's also like a love language type of thing to make sure, you know, I have meals ready and I'm serving him, and you know, the bed is made every morning before I leave, or you know, things like that. I like taking control of household chores, and that might not be, you know, how things are set up for other couples and other relationships, which is okay. Also, we live together, so that kind of helps things. You know, we're not in a long distance relationship or whatever, so it makes it easy to just, you know, navigate our relationship while I'm going through the stress of law school, but we're in the same home. But that can also pose some challenges. So let me start blabbing and let's dive into these tips for real this time. Now, the first advice I would kind of give is in regards to like you guys' like living situation. You know, every couple's different. Sometimes grad school or law school will kind of separate you guys, but I still think that, you know, even with distance, it's still possible to maintain a healthy relationship. Now, for us, just given the things that we have in mind to accomplish within the next couple of years, it wasn't really, you know, something that we didn't really feel comfortable going long distance. So my fiance ended up moving from Houston to Austin, where my law school is situated, so that we could stay together, and I'm just so grateful that he did that. Just having him present while I'm going through 1L has just made all the difference for me. So I think, you know, for relationships, you might want to consider that. Maybe, you know, you guys don't want to do long distance, and so someone's gonna have to make the sacrifice to make the move. I can't really give long distance advice because I'm not in that position, but I definitely do know that it's doable. And like for me personally, I was on Harvard Law's wait list during that time period, and I decided to pull myself off because I was like, you know, I really do want to be close to my fiance, and it was more feasible for him to move to Austin as opposed to him moving to Cambridge. So we both kind of made sacrifices on that end. Now, I will also say that during the time that I chose the law school I was going to, we were engaged. I don't believe in making, you know, big commitments and changes to my life before a man has committed to me. So if we were just boyfriend and girlfriend, I definitely would have applied to wherever I wanted to apply and pursue whatever waitlist I wanted to pursue and just expand my wings, because I don't believe in allowing a man or really anybody to kind of hold you down or limit you before they've committed to you in some kind of, you know, fundamental way. So that's why I made the sacrifice that I made, because he committed to me. Now, my first tip is to communicate. And I know it's such a cliche thing, but I think, you know, especially going through like grad school or like law school, it's important to probably even like over communicate. And I'm talking about, you know, letting them know if you have major assignments coming up. Let them know if you're struggling with something going on in school. Don't just take that burden in on your own and just kind of leave them out in the dark, especially if you're that kind of person who just likes to handle your business on your own and not bother people. This is really going to be a time where you're going to really need to, like, you know, lean on your partner and allow them to kind of show up for you the way that they need to. So communicate, let them know, give them a heads up if things are coming up that are going to be stressing you, because that can affect a lot of different areas of your relationship in terms of just, you know, you being emotionally available to be there for them, physical well-being, even sexual well-being. You know, sometimes if you're really stressed, the last thing you're thinking about is physical intimacy. So just communicating that is really important, so your partner doesn't feel like, you know, you're kind of like ostracizing them or, you know, just not being your usual self, and they have some context for your reaction and your behaviors. My next tip, and this is like especially for women, is to allow your man, allow your spouse or whomever to support you and to really, you know, show up for you the way they need to. Like I said, I'm a more traditional person, so I love and I enjoy cooking, cleaning, and taking over those tasks for the home. But obviously, you know, when I'm going through like exam season or I'm really stressed and I have a major assignment due, it's not as easy for me to be able to do those things that I genuinely enjoy enjoy doing. And I'll go ahead and be honest, I don't think it will ever get so bad where I'm like telling my man like, hey, can you cook dinner? Because I don't I don't trust my man's cooking. I've never tried it. Don't want to, I'm good. So, you know, but I love the fact that, you know, times where like he sees me getting stressed or whatever, you know, he'll happily, you know, offer to like pick up dinner or order something in to kind of lighten that load. And I think it's important, like, you know, don't feel so bad and don't feel down on yourself when you're not able to do the things you typically do in the relationship and you need to ask for help. Like, you're not Superwoman. Like, just go ahead and get the help you need so you guys can make this thing work. And I'll even say for myself, like, you know, my fiance has done things like, you know, when let's say I cooked dinner the night before and, you know, I'm super tired, I'm exhausted, so the dishes are in the sink from the previous day. By the time I come back from school the next day, you know, he loaded the dishwasher, he did the dishes for me. And it's things like that that are really helpful, that really help me feel supported throughout, you know, my law school journey. And even outside of that, you know, like, he'll get me like passes to go to a spa, massages, stuff like that that can really help de-stress me. And I know even during like exam season, we were considering hiring like cleaning help to come help and clean our apartment. I'm a super like neat freak. I like things clean, so I didn't end up going through with it because I just don't think nobody's gonna clean my space the way I like to clean it and like sanitize it the way I like it sanitized. So I kind of like dismissed that idea. But allow your person to show up and allow them to like, you know, offset the burdens that you have. My next tip is to prioritize your relationship. Like, obviously, you know, going to grad school, law school, whatever the case may be, you know, a lot of us are probably in thousands of dollars in debt for this education. So you're like, if I'm gonna make this investment in time and money, I want a good job. I want the opportunities that I want from this experience. So let me prioritize my academic career. But you know, for me, it's like law school is just 3 years of my life, and my relationship with my fiance is a lifetime thing. And so I'm not going to allow a 3-year experience to leave like lasting negative impacts on my relationship, because regardless, I value my relationship above school, above anything else. So it's like, I'm going to prioritize that and make sure that is straight. So obviously you want to do that in balance, because you don't want to do that and like fail law school or fail grad school. So I just think for me, what it looks like is like, I don't really spend so much of my free time doing things like at the law school. Like, I'm not that person who does study groups anyway. I'm not really as involved in school. I like to use my free time to do outside law school things and spend quality time with my fiance. So those are some of the sacrifices that I make in order to ensure that I'm still prioritizing my relationship and allowing myself to show up as my best self for him, and not just sacrificing me being present in my most full capacity because of law school. But I will say, and I will caution to do this within reason, I think for me personally, I'm just naturally a homebody, so I enjoy staying home, and like, what's better than being home with the love of your life? So it's like, honestly and truly, I could be home for like a week, not go nowhere, and be just fine, just chilling with my man. Like, you know, before even being like my lover, that's my best friend. So I truly enjoy spending time with him. But I think kind of where it kind of hurts me is that I don't necessarily feel so inclined to want to be as involved in my academic community and get to know people and invest more in those relationships. And I kind of want to blame that on just like the stress of 1L in general. But I do think that if I was not in this relationship or he wasn't here, I would probably be more involved at school. So I'm just gonna say, you know, just kind of like as a caution, ensure that you're finding balance between the two and not being so consumed with one that you're neglecting one altogether. My next tip is to find healthy coping mechanisms for dealing with the pressures of your academic program. School can get really stressful and really difficult, and especially, you know, when you're kind of going through your day and it's just like one bad thing to the next. Last thing you want to do is to take that pressure out on your spouse. And so I think it's important to find healthy mechanisms, coping mechanisms for your stress, whether that's, you know, going to the gym, going for walks, talking to family members, or whatever the case may be, find healthy ways for dealing with your stress, because no one wants to be someone's like emotional punching bag, and you know, the person that you like just let out all your stress on and make them suffer for it just because they're there. So find healthy ways and healthy coping mechanisms to deal with the stress of your graduate program. My next tip, and I think this is one of the most important ones, is to never make them feel not special. You know, continue to make them feel valuable, continue to make them feel special. Don't allow law school or your graduate program to now become your spouse. Like, that's a great way to make your relationship just weaken throughout the years. So for me, what that looks like, we still do date nights, and you know, that's probably like the highlight of my week every week. For example, even his birthday, like I still planned a whole birthday weekend for him out in Nicaragua. We went for the weekend and we did that. We still travel together. We just came back from Italy for spring break. Like, we still spend a lot of time together, and I still devote a lot of time to him just to continue to make him feel special. And even in small things, like even though I'm going through the stress of law school, I still make sure to make dinner, cook him homemade meals, plate them, serve them to him. You know, things that I did prior to starting law school that always made him feel special and valuable. So keep doing those things and don't stop just because of school. And kind of piggybacking off this point, continue doing some of the things you did in your relationship that bonded you guys together. Like, don't just give up y'all's weekly, I don't know, walk in the park dates or something just because school is starting. Like, continue to do some of those things, obviously with balance. If you guys did some things that, you know, required a lot of time that you just don't have the time to do now, that's understandable. But maybe try considering ways that you can still find a way or a version of it to fit into your schedule. For example, we love watching reality TV together, especially like love shows and stuff, and we still do. I mean, obviously, if I have something major coming up, I might have to pass on a certain night or on a certain episode, but we'll just, you know, watch it together another time. So don't just completely give up the activities that you guys bonded over just because of school. Because the truth of the matter, like even for us, you know, after law school, there comes my career, you know, and then, you know, by God's grace, like motherhood. So it's like, if we're already starting to let go of the things that are important to us and that help build our relationship, what are you gonna do as a working mom or in another kind of situation? So don't let that go. We still go to weekly church together. That's important to us. And so law school wasn't gonna just be like, you know what, can't do nothing just because I'm in school. Absolutely not. Now, my next tip is to treat grad school or law school as like training ground for what you're going to do in like your actual career, and take it seriously. You know, kind of look at it like, you know, these next couple of years, yes, they're going to be difficult and stuff, but you know, my career is probably going to be challenging too, and it's going to present its own unique challenges. So let me take advantage of this time to figure out and develop healthy habits that are going to allow us to maintain the strength of our relationship. And I think that's a great outlook to have on this time period, because it really causes you to be very serious and intentional about how you treat your partner and just the things you guys do together in order to maintain the strength of your relationship. Now, my last tip is probably my favorite. It's one that might seem like very little and not that serious, but I think it does wonders in our relationship, and that is check in with each other every day. Like, my favorite time of the day is probably when we're just laying in bed, you know, done with the full day of whatever we're doing, and just have time to talk about how your day was, talk about, you know, the highs and lows, what went on in your day. That's just really important. You know, outside of the stress of school, outside of all of this, you don't want to get into some kind of routine where you wake up, go to work, do this, do that, go home, sleep. You know, like, take some time every day to really connect. And the way that we do that is through this journal. I love it so much. It's called One Question a Day, You and Me. It's a bit battered because we literally use this. We'll take this on vacation too. So basically what this is, it's a journal. They give you like a prompt every day of the year, and you basically answer it. Both you and your partner, you answer it, you provide answers. Let's say, for example, this one for July 7th, it says, what is something that never ends well? And so you guys, you know, just give your input. And, you know, some of these are very thought-provoking, and I feel like they really bring us closer. Some of these questions are things we've never, you know, found a way to kind of talk about. And it's like, oh, what do you think about that? And it's just a really beautiful way to connect with each other every day. Even though it's so small, it only takes nothing but a few minutes, but it's such a great bonding activity. And what I love about this journal is that it gives you spaces to answer the prompts for once for 3 years. So for 2021, we'll have our answer, 2022 and 2023. And we're now at the point where we've used this for over a year. So we're now starting to see the responses that we said last year. And it's just so beautiful to see the changes in our relationship, the growth, and, you know, how we answered the same prompt the year prior. So I really recommend this. I will have the link to it down below in my description box. Please go ahead and grab it. I think it's just such a wonderful tool to use to maintain the closeness of your relationship. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Please let me know down below any questions and any comments that you have, any advice that you guys might be able to offer to other people. Please give this video a like, a thumbs up, and share it with other people you know who are also in relationships and in grad school. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.
You a bad girl and your friends bad too. Oh, you got the swag, so